around.
Good evening. I'd like to call the Tuesday, June 2nd, 2015 Oldsmar City Council meeting to order. If you would please rise for our invocation and our pledge that will be led by our City Attorney, Mr. Tom Trask.
Heavenly Father, we meet to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, and to make decisions that promote common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future, as well as the rights and needs of both the individuals and our community. As trusted servants, we seek blessings on our deliberations and our efforts here today. May we act wisely and well. This we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and once again, welcome. Hard to believe we're almost halfway through the year already. Our first item tonight is the Citizens Open Forum, where it allows you to address the City Council. We only have a couple of rules. You keep it to no more than 5 minutes. You state your name and address clearly for the record. And you are allowed to speak towards anything on the agenda, but if it is a public hearing, we ask you to hold your comments until such time as we get to that agenda item. Having said that, I'll just open it up to anybody in the room that would like to address the City Council. Easy. But we will have one person that will address the City Council. Matthew Grabowski is here to get his communications badge, and so we would like to have you address the council and tell us how things are going, and we normally promise you some kind of fight or altercation, but tonight it's a short agenda, so go ahead and communicate to us.
Well, my name is Matthew Grabowski. I live on 208 Cedar Key Court. That is here in Oldsmar. I'm with Troop 475 out of Palm Harbor. Also, another reason why I'm here is that I'm currently seeking out a Eagle project to do, and I was wondering if the City Council had anything that around town that they do need to be done.
Yeah, we need a baseball stadium for the Rays. Can you pull that off?
That's a little out of my budget possibilities.
Oh, it is? Okay. I don't know. We can probably maybe think of that. How did we come up with the last one? Was that something that we worked with?
We have done that, yes.
Okay.
Well,
we might be.
like the garden, we had an eagle.
A shed.
Yeah.
Well, that and
then the statue at
the
Veterans
statue
Park.
at Veterans Park was one. So you getting out a card? And
You could just send me an email.
Ann's got one too. Okay.
Another Eagle Scout did our sign like on Oakwood Boulevard. He did lights and plants and painted it and everything. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. We'd be glad to work with you on that.
Yeah, I would like to do something that would definitely help my town.
Good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Matthew.
Next item is there anybody else that would like to address the council? If not, I'll close the Citizens Open Forum. I've lost my notes. There they are. Next item is the Mayor's Minute. We have a couple items. Community coffee, this is new. It's kind of replacing the, what do we used to call it? Neighborhood Advisory Committee Council, is that what it was called? Yes. It's done with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. It's our inaugural community meeting with community policing deputies from the Sheriff's Department this month. It's June 8th. Which is next Monday, 7:30 to 9 at Daddy's Grill. There will be free coffee, an open conversation with residents and businesses. It's a chance for us to interact with not only the Sheriff's Department, but the residents and business owners as well as the city. So that if you need more information, you can find it at myoldsmar.com. A couple other items. We had the ribbon cutting for Thornton's, and that was exciting, really makes a huge difference, and we will be planning ribbon cuttings for the remainder properties behind Thornton's. They're excited about that to kind of give them a re-grand opening and let them market those properties. So they're really excited about that, working with Nick Pappas on doing that. Delight's Food, I did the ribbon cutting for that last Saturday. It's in where Anytime Fitness used to be, in the Buffalo Wild Wings Plaza. Great healthy ice cream, really good. Freedom Fest we had, which was a great success, and obviously our annual Memorial Day celebration ceremony that was probably the best attendance that we've had in quite some time. And I said this then, and I'll say it again, it was nice to see all the kids out there, and it's really great to, when they sing the national anthem, he could have almost stopped and the tent would have taken over singing the national anthem. I got to do Freedom Fest all weekend, and every time we did it, it was really neat to see the citizens of our community, sing the song. It's a song that I never get tired of singing. Then the last item, I'm excited. Of course, we all know that the Tampa Bay Lightning are in the Stanley Cup. Game 1 is tomorrow. And I would like to send a big thank you to Deb, I don't know where she's at over there, and our city clerk's office for reaching out to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And they have sent us this to hang. And I promised them that we would take I don't know where the top is.
Backwards.
This is the top.
Is that? Go. There you go. Right there. Like that. So I think we probably, there you go.
That's awesome.
Go Bolts, and we're going to find a spot in the city to put it. I'd like to maybe get whoever wants to be in it. I don't know if we want to go down there, but I would like to send the Lightning a picture of all of our council. We can either do it up there or down there. I don't know where you want it, Deb.
You could just
Gonna do
stand
it
up
now?
right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
You want?
Everybody, whoever wants to be in it.
Down there so that you get
Yeah,
the whole
let's
flag.
we'll go down there. We don't have a river to dye
I was
blue.
gonna say we need to dye the baby blue.
Somebody's already thought of it.
Yeah.
That needs to be in this. Maybe Jerry can take a picture. You need to be in this. Yes, you do. You're the one that.
Come on, Deb, come on, you gotta be in it. Can I hold it?
Yep.
Can you get everybody in?
Getting her top. Where's Ann? Ann?
There you go. Look at that. I'm used to it.
Is somebody behind you?
No.
Got it, fine.
All right.
Hey, good morning. You take that mat folding class too? Good.
Very cool, very cool.
So we're excited about the Tampa Bay Lightning being in the Stanley Cup. And
How was Clearwater Centennial?
oh, I did Clearwater Centennial as well. It was really exciting. There were probably 120 floats, well attended. It did catch a little bit of rain right towards the end. I think our Centennial Parade will probably be better, but
Hey, you're on camera.
maybe oh, sorry. Edit.
Well, we can learn from them.
No, it was good. It was they've done a really good job, and they had a huge participation. They had planned on 100 floats or entrants, and they probably had 120, and rode with a lot of other elected officials and former elected officials, and I actually walked the whole route, so it was fun. It's it's neat to be, even though it's not our city, it's neat to be a part of the community's celebration of, this being Clearwater Centennial or ours, so definitely was a fun time. So other than that, that's all that I have. Our first item on our agenda is our consent docket. There are 3 items. Approve the minutes of the April 21st, 2015 City Council meeting. Approve the minutes of the May 5th, 2015 City Council meeting. And the third item, authorize the city manager to advertise for bids for construction of the intersection modifications required for closing Exeter Street Railroad crossing. Anybody wish to pull anything? If not, I need a motion.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes 5-0. Thank you. The next item is our presentation of the business of the quarter, and I'm glad to do that. And I'd like to ask Robert Falls to come up if he would, please. All right, sir. Thank you for coming. We'll do it over here. What we do is every quarter we give a Business of the Quarter award to a community business that's here to thank them for being a great partner with the city and the chamber, and just to recognize them for the things that they do. You can come over here. I don't bite. Just checking. The business of the quarter is Plate Smart Technologies. I'll read a little bit about it, but then you can tell me a little bit more of the nerdy part of how it works and what goes on, which I know all about. So it is with pride and pleasure that I present this quarter's Business Award to another one of those amazing and unique businesses that are located here, and we do not hear about them. Plate Smart Technologies is a high-tech software developer whose products are critical to law enforcement and security personnel in rapidly recording, identifying, tracking, and reporting license plate data for various applications. For example, PlateSmart is the only license plate recognition company whose covert technology was used for security at the 2012 Republican National Convention. On the other hand, their software technology was credited by law enforcement officials with locating and saving the life of a suicidal missing person in a stolen vehicle. They have been in business in Oldsmar since 2008 and are preparing to expand for the third time since their founding. PlateSmart has hosted many business partners and clients from all over the world, including such companies as Panasonic, Basler, Samsung, and EverFocus, to name only a few. Such a wide variety of clientele has helped to put Oldsmar on the map as a great place to start or grow a technology-related business. They have attracted many employees from all over the country who have relocated to Oldsmar to work for PlateSmart due to their innovation, quality, and niche. In addition, they have an active intern program that provides college students with invaluable experience and a pathway into the technology sector. PlateSmart is also an outstanding community citizen. They participate in the annual Toys for Tots drive in conjunction with the Oldsmar Fire Department. A number of their staff are actively involved in supporting the community through various clubs, groups, associations, and churches. They have also provided free software licenses to at-risk schools and other community organizations that benefit greatly by the added software security, but could not afford to purchase this level of state-of-the-art software. I am honored to recognize PlateSmart Technologies as the Oldsmar Business of the Quarter, June 2015, and presenting to Robert Falls, Field Engineer and Law Enforcement Liaison. So I would like to present you that. Congratulations. I kind of read the technical version of it, but if you could give like the Reader's Digest version of really what happens. We've been to your facility a couple of times and saw how it works, and it's quite fascinating. And as you said, it helps somebody that was suicidal and great in law enforcement, maybe how it kind of works.
Well, basically, the algorithms is developed to recognize the different various plates from domestically as well as internationally. We can take that data and translate it into usable analytics that we can verify and check against BOLOs and hot lists and other data formats. We expand our operations to colleges, universities, as well as the international market in Saudi Arabia, Brazil, South America. So we're becoming quite an international brand. We've developed our technology over many years, and we've expanded twice. And we kept our business operations here in Oldsmar because of the generous support that we received from the community as a whole. And we plan to grow and triple our workforce in the next year to double the amount we have on staff. So we're excited about that. We're growing at a pace that I can't keep up because I'm wearing like 3 hats all at once. But it thrills me to work here in our local community, and I'd rather see our community benefit from the technology before I provide it to anybody else.
That's awesome.
So I appreciate the award. This is a very honored. I apologize for our management and our employees are very appreciative of this award. They were feeling a bit under the weather, so I don't know if it has to do with the rain.
It could be.
Yeah, but we definitely appreciate the support.
Thank you.
And
congratulations.
yes, sir.
I won't turn around. Oh, on my jacket. My jacket's all jacked up. There we go. Our next item is consider the reappointment of Bernie Carnevale to the Board of Adjustments. Hello, Bernie. You've probably been through this once or twice, haven't you?
A couple times. Good evening, folks. Bernie Carnevale, 858 Christina Circle. As someone alluded to, I'm re-upping. And I'd just like to get back on the Board of Adjustment. It's nice to serve the community and do what I can on my part and to work with all of you folks as well as city staff.
Well, thank you. And we appreciate you. How many years you been on the Board of Adjustments?
Kathy, help me out here. What's a Board of Adjustment?
15, 16?
Board of Adjustment? Holy mackerel.
With me.
Time to read down instead of re-up?
I was going to say, you want to reconsider this?
It's only been 4 years, Bernie, on the Board of Adjustment.
4?
On the planning board. Oh, Board of
Planning
Adjustment.
board was
Oh, you got
15.
plenty of work to do.
Planning
You're not
board.
going anywhere.
Board of Adjustment's been 4.
Okay.
That's correct.
Oh, so you're about due for a plaque or something on that, huh?
Another one.
Well, we thank you for wanting to be on the Board of Adjustments, and if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. If not, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion and second, and thirds and
We're all
whatever.
moving and we're all seconding.
That's all right. Well, thank you so much. All in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you, Bernie.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
City Attorney.
I don't have anything tonight, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. City Manager.
Those are the easy ones.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The next item, authorized sale of beer and wine at Celebrate Oldsmar. This year, Celebrate Oldsmar will be held on September 4th and 5th at Ariel's Park. This would be, we implemented beer and wine sales at Celebrate Oldsmar in 2013. There have not been any adverse incidents, so we are recommending approval again for this year's Celebrate Oldsmar event.
And just a little bit of history for those that weren't on council. When we approved this 3 years ago, the thought was that we felt that people were already probably bringing coolers and whatnot into the park. So we thought if we approved beer and wine, that we would at least be able to somewhat control the distribution of it and help offset some of the costs. So it has been without incident, as I understand it. So if anybody would like to discuss, otherwise I need a motion.
So moved.
Second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 7, authorize the city attorney to prepare an ordinance revising the Tampa Road quarter plan. I'm going to ask our Planning and Redevelopment Director, Marie Dauphiné, to go over the proposed changes to the quarter plan, and then based upon the council's discussion and input this evening, if you concur, then city attorney would prepare an ordinance, and that, of course, would come back for 2 readings.
Mayor and Council, in 2013, the City Council adopted the Tampa Road Corridor Plan, and that plan is designed to improve the quality of development and the visual appearance along the corridor, as well as promoting it as an attractive business location. So since 2013, we've noticed that there are certain sections of the plan that need a clarification or that we should provide additional options. So we were trying to tweak it a little bit, and that's what I want to go over tonight. These are just really minor amendments. Okay, the first amendment, we're clarifying what is meant by color. You can see the box on the left is a bright yellow, the box on the right is a muted yellow. So this is an example of a building that has had its, the colors are muted, the intensity or brightness has been downplayed somewhat. The second requirement that we've proposed it's an architectural feature that we're requiring now as far as windows. Instead of letting them be at the ground level, we've required an architectural feature known as a kick plate. And so you can see this at Circle K. A third amendment that we're proposing is for 6-foot-high fences that 2.5 feet should be open. And this is going to prevent like a wall-like appearance along the corridor. So you don't want a 6-foot fence just it's not really architecturally pleasing. Projecting signs will now be permitted. We found that in certain cases that some businesses were not able to identify their business just with a wall sign, so now we're allowing projecting signs. And that's another example of a projecting sign. The code now has been amended or proposed to be amended to permit automobile ramps, and this will be a maximum of 2 feet in height. I think that, I'm not sure if anybody's seen the golf carts along Tampa Road. They have the 2 foot high ramps. And finally, the building setback requirement has been, it's proposed to be amended. Right now, we require a 35-foot maximum setback from Tampa Road, so that does not allow any kind of parking of any kind in the front. So we're giving developers an option. They can provide 1 row of parking, and then in order to do that, they would have to enhance the landscaping, which they provide berming and hedging like at least 3 feet in height. And if they wanted to have 2 rows of parking, then they would have to provide a higher berm and additional landscaping. And so I'm just giving you examples here of, whoops, I want to go here. No, sorry. Okay, so these are just examples of the berming that's already existing. The 2 tiers of landscaping, for example. Forest Lake Shopping Center, the tiers of landscaping. OL Products, they meandered, and they have tiers of landscaping. So you can see the difference between the Land Development Code requirements and the Tampa Road corridor requirements. So the landscaping is definitely enhanced, and that's what we're looking for. And these slides are just showing additional landscaping. We're not doing any amendments to this, but because of the Tampa Road corridor requirements, they have provided us, additional landscaping that really has enhanced the corridor. So staff is recommending that the City Council authorize the City Attorney to prepare an ordinance amending the Land Development Code as outlined in the staff report. And I'll try to answer any questions.
I don't really have any questions. I think it's great that you've been successful in implementing a lot of the corridor components even prior to us adopting it a couple of years ago, and to continue to be able to revisit it, and by case by case basis, we found that it needs to be tweaked every now and again, and I think it's great, and it winds up making the city just look that much better and works well with the community. So
I have a question while you're up here. The Jefferson Bank sign, what happened with that?
a car slid sideways into it and smashed it.
It's funny, this morning I was driving thinking, God, that sign is hideous.
Yeah.
And I was thinking we should probably require that they change that sign, and then I saw that it was cracked.
It says ouch on it, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're replacing the entire sign, or?
I'm not sure.
It just happened the other day. The car, I was there when the
I don't
car
think
was
they came in
smashed up
yet.
against it, so.
Yeah, because I felt like that doesn't really meet the new changes
architectural
that we're
standard.
hoping for.
Yeah, but did you
yes.
take the sign out?
I did not hit the sign, but I just thought, how funny is that? I saw it from a
Gabby's like,
distance.
I don't
and
like this sign.
Does
get
it seriously
things done
say
here.
ouch on it?
Yeah, it does say
Oh
ouch.
my God,
yeah.
that's funny.
I feel bad. I mean, it demolished the car pretty good, so, but, and took out the railing and everything else. Hopefully nobody was hurt.
These
but-
are all great improvements.
Yeah, well, I like to thank the council for their support. I think it's really been successful, and we've gotten a lot of compliments from people that come in or developers. They really like the look, so I think it's a good business attractor.
I think the OL products that you did in the Randy Mears property is just
Yes.
an example of how it really worked.
The berming and the
berming and-
landscaping, and once it's mature, it's going to really be very, very nice.
I think the way it was previously, it kind of handcuffed them to not really be able to develop the site, and that's certainly not our intention.
But
So.
once the landscape's mature, you're not going to really see the parking, so that's
Sure.
it turned out to be a good
I have a
option.
question. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm curious, have you gotten much pushback from some of the business owners on, I don't know, somewhat hiding their businesses from the traffic that goes by?
Not really too much, not really, I mean, they want to have the landscaping. The landscaping is also signage. You see really attractive landscaping, and that kind of draws your eye to the business. I don't think when for example, in Hillsborough County, you have Publix and they have the rows of, that sea of parking out front. I don't think that's attractive. So I think that most developers want, to kind of comply, or they don't want.
Just curious of whether some were concerned that it limits some of their exposure to the traffic going by.
Well, we also want to make it more pedestrian friendly. I know that people really don't think that people are going to walk down Tampa Road, but it's all part of the movement.
Well, I think there's a balance too between the community kind of building this image and this look and maintaining it. You all have a very difficult job in your department because, we sit up here and pass these rules and you get to go implement them. And it's not always.
Most of the time, it's been pretty positive, though, so.
I think it's good to clarify as much as you can, so.
Well, I'm sure we're going to be back with more amendments.
The sign improvements are awesome.
Yeah,
Being
there
the
was
sign
some issues
industry.
with businesses, so they want I like the projecting signs, so.
Yeah.
We have them right here on our own building here, so. And it's, so.
I think the enhanced landscaping, I get your point, but I also think that it's indicative of an upscale community. All the upscale communities, you see nice landscaping. I like that you are allowing the bright colors in limit, like whatever business that was that had the lime green, because that really draws your eye to the business.
That's more like an accent.
Yeah,
I
the
think,
accent,
yeah.
I'm glad that that's there. And I don't remember, but as far as the colors, didn't it used to, unacceptable, didn't it include pastels, and it's not there anymore, which is, I'm glad to see. I remember reading one time that pastels were unacceptable, but now with the new trends, it's nice to see that it's not in the unacceptable, or am I remembering
That
it
might be
wrong?
in the CRA.
Oh, maybe it's in the CRA, right. And then does this incorporate the discussion that we had about bringing in a wider range of colors? I see that the change is muted colors shall have their intensity or brightness dulled, but does it broaden the palette for people so that they're not stuck with just the earth tones?
Well, we can work with, the developer, or whoever wants to come in and look at colors. Most colors, we just want to stay away from the garish kind of,
Right.
attention-grabbing kind of colors.
And I absolutely love all the artistic bike racks that you have in there, all the examples of all the bike racks. Those are, I hope somebody does that. So, no, these are great.
Do we need a motion?
Anything else? I would just add to Eric's point, I think you're right, it's about a balance, because you'll drive, I don't know, for instance, down McMullen Booth Road, and you see some, while you plant them young, it's one thing and you can still see it, but as some of these things start to mature, I can think of the plaza right there at, Enterprise and McMullen Booth Roads. It's kind of sunk down and all the trees kind of, hide a lot of the businesses. So you definitely is a balance between.
Well, that occurred here too. A bank had these huge trees in front of them on Tampa Road, and he didn't really know what to do with them, but he was able to remove them and plant, lower,
Good.
Smaller trees
At least
that aren't going to grow like that.
Yeah. So it does look good, but then sometimes it can, when they grow up, it can become a problem. So anything else? If not, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second? Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you. Anything else?
That's all I had this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. City Clerk, anything?
Oh, I don't have anything.
Thank you. Thanks again to your clerk's office for getting us the lightning flag. Hopefully it will work for us. So next item is the City Council. This next one is going to be a tough one. It's probably going to be a squeaker. Approve the excused absence of Councilmember Seidel.
Slacker.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Oh, motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Abstention. Do I?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll vote.
5-0.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that would be funny. 5-0. Thank you. Next is comments by council. We'll start with Councilmember Norris.
Oh, I don't have a whole lot. Just go Bolts, and the Memorial Day ceremony was, as long as I've been going, the best ceremony that we've had. It was beautiful, and I think one thing that really helps a lot is the tent.
Oh.
People are not broiling. It's nice. That's really nice. And then having the eagle there, Cyrus, 24-year-old eagle. I mean, he could go to any service, and he comes to ours. So whoever arranged that, kudos to whoever got that, because he was a real draw as well. So that's it. I don't have anything else.
Vice Mayor?
2 things. Yesterday I met with Habitat for Humanity, so Doug and I had attended the Habitat dedication that was here in Oldsmar about a week ago, and it gave me some ideas, and so I met with 2 members of Habitat yesterday about potentially restoring some of the older houses here in the city as part of Habitat for Humanity, because the home that they dedicated in Oldsmar was not a new build, it was actually a home from the 70s that they were able to restore. And they're doing one in St. Pete right now. Actually, JMC, the developer, paid for it because they wanted to put a high-rise where this historic kind of bungalow was, and so JMC paid for it to be moved and then paid a significant amount of money towards Habitat's restoration of it. And so it was an expensive job, because I think the bungalow is from 1912, but it's really going to be a great beacon where it's going to be in downtown St. Pete. So we talked about the house on Park 302, and Habitat has a lot of pull with banks because they have good relationships with banks, and sometimes the banks, if it's not still in a state suit, will just will them or donate them over to Habitat. So they're going to look up that house for us and try to see if they can stay on the radar, and if it does come up for potential sale or auction, that potentially they'll be able to get a hold of it. And then we would get volunteers from the city and hopefully restore that 1918 bungalow. And I did say, it didn't have to be that house. You know, there were other foreclosures and opportunities within the city, but they definitely want to partner with us. But that was kind of the first step to see if they could help us get ownership of that home and potentially restore it. So for anyone that doesn't know, there's a 1918 bungalow here in the city on Park Boulevard that's been empty for about 1.5 years now, in a lawsuit, in an estate suit, and it's got extensive termite damage and could potentially be torn down in the future, but it's one of the oldest houses ever built in the city that's still standing. So I'd love to see that restored and given to a needy family. Sure. So that was a good meeting, and then also did my sheriff ride along, but I did it with a fly along, and that was really neat. Deb was asking me how that happened, but years ago we had a CPO, Deputy Whittam, and I met him. He was a really great guy, and we just kept in touch, and he's a good friend with Captain Lubin. And it was right around the time we were talking about doing ride-alongs for the council, and I was standing there talking with Captain Lubin, and I said, it would be really cool if I could do the helicopter with Mark, because he's a pilot now for the sheriff's office. And he goes, I think that could be arranged. And so I emailed with Mark, and he was able to set it up. So last week I did my fly-along. So I went to the sheriff's hangar at the Clearwater Airport and went on patrol with them in the morning in a 1991 A-Star, which is about a $3 million helicopter that they have, and pretty much went all over North Pinellas. And we even had there was a traffic stop in Oakleaf in Oldsmar, so we circled that for a minute until another deputy arrived. And was able to go over my parents' house. And it was kind of funny, I forgot that my mother was getting her roof done. So there's all these roofers on the roof of the house. And that's what made it easy for me to spot the house. But we're circling in a sheriff's helicopter on top of my mother texted me. She said, I think you might have scared the roofers off. But so that was a neat experience. And then I went back to the hangar, participated in the rest of the day. And then they had an old Ranger, a 74 Ranger that's kind of open air, didn't have any doors on the front, and we took that on patrol because the mechanics had just worked on that, and went and did the Clearwater Beach and St. Pete patrol. So it was really neat. They had a couple calls. We even did a little manhunt over there in Largo. There was a guy that ran away from a warrant, so we were looking for him. But it makes you appreciate how tough their job is, because it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. You're up in this helicopter, and the call was they were looking for a white male with a dark sweater, jeans, and dark shoes. And over there near the jail, and there was 30 people walking around on the sidewalk, and they were all white males with jeans. So it was kind of interesting to see, how they have to do this. But really, really neat experience, and I was definitely appreciative of that. So thanks, Ann, too, for helping me arrange that, and Captain Lubin. And also, today is Mark Whittam's birthday, the pilot's birthday. So happy birthday to Mark.
I appreciate you bombing my house, too. I was laying at our community pool, and I'm laying there, and I'm hearing... I'm like, I look up, and here she comes down my boulevard, and I'm like, I'm at the pool. So they went by and flew around, and then came by the pool. So that was neat. I was curious because you said it's a needle in a haystack, but you wonder how that all evolves and how they communicate with the ground, and what they're looking for and what their role is while they're up there. Obviously, they don't have machine guns that they can just start shooting.
But it was funny. There was a deputy on the ground in an SUV And he was communicating directly with that deputy, and he said, pull into this parking lot and go, there's a gentleman there. And then that guy ended up just being someone on the phone.
Oh.
But, they're directing these deputies from up in the air to see if it's a potential suspect. So it was a pretty interesting experience.
Neat. Councilmember Seidel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, City Council, for approving my absence, I should say. I was up in Canada on a business meeting. You know how it is, if you're involved in this council at all, you tend to plan your life around the first and third Tuesdays.
No, second and fourth. Yeah.
That's why I missed the meeting. But you plan around the meetings the best you can, and so I have to say the capital improvement plan meeting, I of course planned to be on a business trip on a Tuesday that we weren't meeting, which is, I wasn't at the meeting when we picked the date. So that's how you get in trouble.
You already got approved. You don't need to.
Yeah, well, I'm going to miss the improvement, the IP workshop. But I went over it with Bruce quite a bit, and I'm just going to throw it in now since I won't be there. I'm going to be in California at a meeting, is the water reclamation facility. I know we have money in it, and I think another year out, but I mentioned this the other day, I think when we were at the planning session, that you walk into our water plant and it's just high tech, and you walk into City Hall and it's pristine, and you walk into the reclamation plant and you're like, I'm in the 70s. It's just, wow. So I would ask our council to keep that in mind at that meeting. I know that we approve the actual budget each time and so forth, so I understand that. Memorial Day ceremony is like everyone else. It was a beautiful ceremony. I think that program that our staff and our Veterans Committee puts on, and they put a lot of work into it, a lot of thought, and it gets better and better every year. I mean, I think every year you hear everybody, wow, that was the best year ever. It just gets better and better. So hats off to the people who worked on that. It was a great event. And the last thing I have, which is very important, go Bolts.
Yeah.
Councilmember Saraki.
Thank you, Mayor. Today, my wife and I went to the Crew Luncheon, which is the commercial real estate for women. The three mayors were there, Tampa, Clearwater, and St. Pete, and it's an economic summit. And what was really unique is they have this presenter who spoke about our economy in the Florida and Tampa Bay area, and he mentioned that our unemployment is way down. And he also said our housing market is starting to rebound from the crash in 2007. It was a great lunch. The food was good. I'm still full.
Which is a shock.
Gabby, you know what's so funny is, I saw this helicopter going around and around. I had no idea you were in there.
It was weird that she was waving at everybody.
I was like, what is this helicopter keep going around in circles on Oakleaf Boulevard? That was you.
See, now you know when you get when you kind of rubberneck and you're like, what's this helicopter doing? You know it could just be some council member out on patrol.
Well, there was some guy at the pool, just me and him. He was at the other side. And I'm like, just so you know, there's nothing going on. It's just, I've kind of explained to him how it goes. He goes, that was weird, because you were pretty low when you flew over.
Yeah, it was really neat. And then, again, everyone else, Memorial Day was a huge success in my eyes, packed crowd. And then, as Eric just said, go Lightning. I think we broke a record, Mayor.
What's that? Oh, we will, yeah. I only have a couple of things. The Memorial Day ceremony was beautiful. Thanks to Tom for the invocation. I know you put a lot of thought and effort into that, and you can tell it really fits. And I think one of the best things that we did was really turn that over to the Veterans Committee and let them really run with it. So they've done a great job, and the best part is they continue to raise their own bar every time and try and outdo it. So I think if we just keep telling them how great it is, they'll strive to make it even better. Everybody's seat is a letter from the president of a homeowners association near Tuscany Woods. He wasn't able to make it. I gave you a copy of it. I know that Tim Jacobs is on top of it. His name's Brandy Fettler. And the letter, he wrote me a brief description, and then the actual letter is from his management company. And I know Tim is on top of looking into it, but I know when Tuscany Woods came before council, we promised that we would do everything that we could to make sure that we didn't impact their residences. This is in reference to some water that's ponding near the wall. If you're looking at the wall, it's to the left of it. And we talked about it and discussed it through, construction, that sometimes you have situations that occur, but hopefully the end result will be that it doesn't affect their system. I know Tim's on it, and so if we need a follow-up to them, I'm sure we can get something, but I just wanted him to know that we appreciate his input, and we can't be everywhere and see everything, so I wanted to provide that to the staff to read, or council to read. Tomorrow I have the Mayor's Council, which is always exciting. Meet with the majority of the mayors in the city of, or in Pinellas County, and it's a chance to kind of share stories and have a guest speaker that talks to us about things that are going on. And it's just a really nice lunch function that we do once a month to, kind of tell what we're doing in our city, what they're doing in their city. And sometimes we don't reinvent wheels, similar to our mayor-manager breakfast that we do, where we kind of share stories. And if somebody else has already had a horror story with a particular item, it's a good opportunity to share that. And brag about our community as well. Fire ops class, I don't know, anybody, you going?
I'm going.
Okay. Who
Yeah,
else?
Dan's going.
Dan's going.
You got fitted?
Al's going. I'm going.
Al's
going.
So other than the 6:30 start, I think I'm excited about it. Luckily, the Lightning went into the Stanley Cup playoffs and they canceled Garth Brooks on Friday night that I was supposed to go to. So kind of a bittersweet for me, but I'm really excited about that. So I don't have anything else. Tom, do you have anything? Bruce, anything? Ann, anything? Kathy?
I actually do have one more thing.
Oh, sorry, you've already had your time?
I
No.
know.
Go.
Is everybody, okay.
I'm kidding.
I'd be remiss if I did not point this out. Thank you, Representative Gus Bilirakis, for coming to our service. He was ill.
Yeah.
He still came. His chief of staff, Liz Pitos, she's a friend of mine, and we were talking afterwards, and she told me that other towns are like, well,
Why are you?
why can't you come to ours? And he goes, I'm going to Oldsmar. And so he could pick so many towns in
Yeah.
his district, and he picks Oldsmar, and he comes when he's sick. So thank you, Gus.
Yeah,
Good point.
yep, that was an excellent point. So,
I want to, real quick, did you guys read the article about?
what are you filling in for Jerry Beaverland?
Both of us are.
But did you read the Visit St. Pete Clearwater thing today about their virtual?
I did not see it.
Oh, it was so neat. They're doing great things,
Yeah.
I think, from a marketing standpoint. But there was a newspaper article today about how at this tourism conference, a huge tourism conference where airline partners and hotels and different people attend, Visit St. Pete, in order to stand out at their booth, had worked with a company to have 3D virtual goggles that people put on, and it actually took you through the water. Like, it made you feel like you were swimming
wow.
on the beach, you were parasailing, you were walking through the art museum. And so there was this huge article about how their booth stood out and they were the only organization that had anything of that nature. So really neat. I think they spent about $20,000 on the goggles, but I just thought, what a great idea to really
That's neat.
stand out from other cities and competitors. So good job.
It's a good way to take your city to other parts of the country and the world, as a matter of
where
fact.
if people can't get the experience, but really, really neat, and just had to give kudos to them. Great job.
Awesome. One last item. This is we're going casual at the next meeting. So as the summer starts to warm up, and we'll do that until, we do that time change again? Isn't that what we did last time? Till time change? So relax. We want to try and still keep it nice. And if you have a city logoed shirt, that's fine, or a jacket with no tie, whatever you decide. Tom can come dressed as a normal lawyer if he would like to. That's perfectly acceptable. You know how that is. Except when it was tie-dyed time. You did come, but we found that you had tie on underneath the tie-dyed shirt.
That was great.
We were kind of betting the over-under. So if nobody has anything else, I just need a motion to approve the June 16th tentative agenda.
So move.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you. 7:45.
Standing.